Hi everyone, I'm Gabriel Barbosa. This is B2B Insiders. I'm here with David Costa Lima, my co-host, and Laura Erdem, Sales Lead Americas for Dream Data. She's been working at Dream Data for 3 years now. We admire her work, everything that she has been doing in social selling on LinkedIn, and super excited to have you here in this episode, Laura, to speak about social selling. Welcome, and please, can you introduce yourself for our
Of course. Gabriel, David, thank you so much for inviting me. As we small talked before this episode, for me, it's still pretty surreal when people reach out and say, oh, but share how you're doing stuff. We're big fans. And so it's like, it started so small and it seems like it's evolving to a much bigger thing that people start to notice. People want to learn how to do it and to copy that, which I'm here to do together with you guys. And yeah, I've been at Dream Data for almost 3 years now, and we've been doing social selling for like 2.5 years. And it is bringing a lot of good pipeline for us, or at least a lot of eyeballs of people that we are going to sell in the future.
Well, that's lovely. That's just shows how LinkedIn nowadays is a really strong platform in order to connect people and to develop new strategies, right, for marketing and everything. So based on that, Laura, well, first of all, welcome. And can you share a bit, how was this journey for you? How was the start? When you actually realized that, well, this is something? And if you could summarize like 3 topics that's really important for someone who's entering in this world, what can you share with us?
Yeah, of course. So I knew that LinkedIn is a channel where salespeople have to be. Even while I was working at Gartner, I used to reshare the screenshots of magic quadrants and posts, and nobody cares, and like 2 people like it who are your colleagues, and that's it. So but we think that it's a channel to be at because people check your profile, so you use it either as a CV and then they see what is it that you're posting. Maybe somebody will see it because you're connecting with your prospects. So it's good for sales. Awesome. But how can you use that to scale, to use it as a marketing channel, really? That it not only helps the salesperson to connect with the buyer one-on-one on LinkedIn, but also for the potential buyers to start seeing you as well. And that's how it happened at Dream Data. So I joined Dream Data 3 years ago, and it was a big leap for me, all in all, mentally, because I joined it from a big enterprise, joined a startup, and everything is a trial. Like, whatever we're doing, oh, should we be doing cold calling? Yeah, let's try. And then you cocoa, oh, this is not working. Next. What are we going to do? So this was exactly the same start where we knew we have to be on LinkedIn. Our buyers are there. Our ICPs are B2B marketers and operations. They're on LinkedIn. We started posting, and there's a lot of bad posting. So the first learning is, if you want to do good on social selling, just start. For at least a quarter, when you start, you will be doing a lot of shit posting. Nobody will care. Most of the people who like it will be your colleagues or your friends, but you will develop that skill of figuring out what's actually working for your buyers to start seeing your posts. And for that, you have to start. We started, and a couple of months later, one of my posts that I created was going semi-viral. The reason for that was not because it was a very good post, but because an influencer on LinkedIn who talks a lot about attribution commented on it. And it was a semi-negative comment, which for me, which I'm like new on LinkedIn, I was like, come on, should I delete this now? What should I do now? And it's like, our CMO is a very clever guy, and saying, Laura, relax, go for lunch and see what happens. And that happened. So after that post, our website visitors tripled that day. Our MQLs for that week doubled. And only after that one post, and we can see that coming from direct traffic, something was happened that was out of the ordinary that day and that week. And we knew what that was because we're a small company. We see all of the different changes that are happening. So from there, we said, let's make it I wouldn't say a strategy. It was like, let's make it a bigger scale test where more people do that. And then we engage the whole revenue generation team, sales, marketing, customer success. Let's post. And if we reach 300,000 followers, not followers, 300,000 viewers that quarter, we go for a dinner. Nothing else. It's like not what you should post, how often you should do it, and so on. So this is the second learning. After you start and you want to engage your team to do at least decent, engage the team, but don't push for it in a way that, oh, now everybody has to do it and this is very important and so on. People will bail out or it will feel very fake. For people to really feel that this is something that they're bringing in with, they will start seeing their own post working or not. And at the same time, you will have to encourage that as a team. Oh, look, Thomas did amazing post. And then there is a comment of a prospect. Let's celebrate that. It's small, but it's important. The same would go third learning. So if you want to start, after you started posting, after you engaged your team, the third thing that has to be there is the support of upper management. This will not fly if it's not supported by your leadership. I'm asked by sales leaders really often on LinkedIn, so Laura, how often do you use on LinkedIn? How much time do you spend? It's like, I understand you're a sales leader. And if I'm your AE, you want to control how much time are you spending on LinkedIn? Is this actually work? Is this just fun? Is this just social media? And that also feels as if somebody's trying to control what I'm doing and how I'm going to appear on LinkedIn. But as soon as your leaders are showing the way of posting, engaging, supporting, noticing what you did good, or maybe suggesting you to do something a little bit different to do even better, that means that they're seeing me and they think what I'm doing is important. That will motivate the person to do it even better. So these are my three learnings from our story.
Oh, that's amazing. Just Gabriel, there's one question that came here. Like that's already really, really good. But that's something that quite triggered me. It's the celebration. So the goals are for the teams. So it's not by individuals. So you have like the whole strategy and you have like goals as a team, and then you all celebrate it together. So that's pretty much how it works there.
I still could not call it a strategy. I could say that it is a channel. Like a channel to bring more quality pipeline. And there comes another topic that is very close to Dream Data's heart, is close collaboration between sales and marketing. So it is not a strategy that we are in LinkedIn. We are in LinkedIn with paid ads as well, and like paid social ads and all that kind of stuff that is working there on LinkedIn. But we're there as well on organic social. So it's a mean of getting better quality pipeline with more quality eyeballs on what you're talking about. And we can talk about later, like how do you get all of those viewers into your pipeline? How does that match and so on? But it's still not a set in stone strategy that we need to do this. One day could be LinkedIn will say, all those personal stuff is boring. We're just going to sell ads and Dream Data, goodbye, go only pay for ads. Okay, we're going to find another meme. No problem.
That's interesting. Can I guess the person that commented that made the first post go viral? I haven't seen that post, by the way, but I probably I think it's Chris Walker.
Yes.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, going viral and talking shit about attribution sounds like him.
But there's another funny thing as well that happened now. So we have been active for 2.5 years, and that Chris Walker post was a huge thing for us back then, because it helped and a lot of boost and so on. And the other day, I think it was last week, I made a post, and I think the day after, I'm going through comments because I cannot manage answering all the comments and so on at the same time. I'm going through, so wait, Chris Walker passed by and he did a comment and everybody else commented back on this one. Oh, thank you for this. So it's kind of the name of the game changes as well. And likely, like my social presence is now helping somebody else to work on their presence as well. And there's another strategy we can talk about, how to use the influencers or people who have a bigger following for yourself to grow into that role as well.
Yeah, so yeah, how to do that? I think that's an interesting topic. That's not one of the questions that we had, but now that you bring up, I've when I started, I learned that pretty quickly, just like you're saying, right? How do people should go about this? You know, how should they look for people that are, you know, speaking similarly about the same topic? Like, what should they do to actually engage with people that are going to make them grow as well?
Yeah. So the first thing is you have to understand your buyers. What is it that they care about? It goes back to that. What do they care about? What kind of topics do they care about? Let's say you sell to HR professionals and you're selling whatever payroll solution. But your buyers don't only care about payroll. They care about employee development. They care about how to develop management into some specific ways, whatever, how to buy the right courses, like a lot of other things than payroll. But as soon as you know what they care about, you have to start following those people that speak about it, or see what your buyers are commenting on and following. And if those people that they're following are posting often, go and engage into conversations. What happens there is that your comments are being seen by the people who you can sell to and start conversations with, because they're your buyers. They will start seeing you. Then as soon as you start following the more like thought leaders of the topics, you would do the same, or you might even get inspired of the topics that they speak about and try to adapt it to your speech. Make friends with them as well, because then it can also boost each other's presence for that. But the most important thing is you go back to what your buyers care about. You show up with the knowledge, or at least showing that you care about the topic and you're trying to educate yourself and ask questions. And that will help you to be perceived as a person who cares about the topic that your buyers care about. And then the rest will happen automatically, because you mentally care to help your buyers. And that's where the influencers or thought leaders come in as well.
Yeah, now that's really good, and it's interesting because I think nowadays LinkedIn is the only actually social media, because I remember it reminds me a lot of the old times in Facebook, when you have friends and when your friends used to interact with other people or other pages, and that used to show up on your timeline. So you know exactly what your right social circle are doing, are interacting. And right now it's like this. So like, for instance, if I open my feed right now, it's gonna be like Chris Walker commented on, and then pretty much someone's interesting post, but I'm not related to that person yet. Yeah. So LinkedIn is really good doing this, like 2 to 3 connections, right? And in order to maximize this strategy, like this LinkedIn thing, how do you approach your content production? How do you think about what I'm gonna post in? You have like kind of a calendar. How do you organize that part of your the strategy or the social thing?
I'm the worst example for this, guys. I don't. It is pretty sporadic, because I don't use too much time on thinking about what I'm going to post next or what I'm going to post tomorrow, unless we have a big release coming over at Dream Data. It's like this week we're talking about cost of acquisition, because this is what we have released as a feature of Dream Data. Like half a year ago, we spoke about the death of Google Analytics and why we don't use this. So it is a little bit of what the topics that marketing is writing about, but I'm not limiting myself to that, because if all of us at Dream Data speak about the same thing and share the same pictures, share the same videos, it does not break the kind of the pattern of the same posting. So if a person sees 7 times posted the same video of cost of acquisitions, like, oh, they've seen this before, boring, further. But what if I do a twist on that one and only do a talking head and talk about this? What if I make a screenshot and do something different and tell people why is this important for the buyers? So I tend to pick up those topics, but then do my own twist on that and not overuse time on this. But there's another part of the posting as well. So I do care about the vanity metrics that people say you should not care about, but it has to be calculated in a way that vanity metrics have to be from the people, the roles, and the regions that I care about to sell to. I think as like a marketer and a salesperson. So when I post about social selling and pictures and videos and so on, that gets a lot of engagement, a lot of likes and comments and so on, zero revenue. But people who care about that topic are the eyeballs that will care about attribution the next time we speak about it as well. So I try to match the two while working on the engagement and entertainment and so on. And the next thing I do, I speak about something serious that they care about. That will get so much less engagement, so much less comments and so on. But the ones that do comment and see it are the actual buyers I'm going to meet in my pipeline. And those two have to meet.
Nice. So one of the things that we wanted to speak about is exactly metrics. So if I'm understanding correctly, what you're saying is you don't care too much about the numbers of the metrics, but you care about the quality of whoever is engaging with your content, right? So it's not so much about the numbers, but numbers of people within the ICP, for example.
Yeah. And LinkedIn became much better at giving you those metrics. So I care about that the people who engage with it are marketing managers, CMO, everything marketing. Then it goes down to operations and sometimes founders. I see that in my metrics. The next thing, what are the regions that are seeing my posts? Most likely, most of them are in Europe because I post in the European time zones. Now I'm shifted a little bit to go closer to the American time zones. And I start seeing like Boston pop up, San Francisco pop up. And so, okay, so this is working. And then later going into the metrics, you can definitely measure it even further. So I do agree with Chris Walker. Please ask people where have they heard about you from, because if they mention LinkedIn, it's working. But this is not something you can put on a map and show to your C-level if you're a 1,000 people company. But what you can put on the map of your customer journey is organic social clicks. So all of our team is posting. If people are seeing the post, they go into your LinkedIn profile, company profile. One thing that you will start seeing is the intent of the companies that are coming into your LinkedIn profile. You can see it either on LinkedIn, you can see it at Dreamgate as well. Then the other thing, when they click on see more about your company and land on your website, they land with a UTM saying organic social. So that means that these people have heard about you from somewhere. Either it's social, it could be paid as well. It could be somebody else said this. It could be many things. But the more you do of things you feel that are working, the more results you'll see on that. I just recently ran a report of last year's touches of organic social, and we had around €1 million in pipeline that reached sales accepted leads that did, in a data-driven attribution model, attribute to organic social. So sales accepted pipeline of €1 million from organic social, that's not bad.
No, no, that's a really interesting way to try to measure in pipeline all this effort, right, towards to the social selling. And actually, that was the next question. And I think you could like grow a bit more about this topic. It's like the question literally says that like I know it's hard to measure, but how do you think that social selling is a major fact to doing their success? Like and when you started, I think you already answered that, but anyway, did you guys have any kind of expectation that this could be one of the pipeline
channels?
Yeah.
So first, no, we knew we had to be there. The buyers are there, let's be there. And that's what we started it as an experiment, and we started getting active to figure out of all the vanity metrics. So even the first metric that we went after was views, a number of views in a quarter on all of our posts from the revenue team. We got Shield to measure that. So now we know, okay, we actually hit 500,000. So we overly achieved that, and we had a very lavish dinner and a very heavy Friday after that Thursday dinner. Doesn't matter. So we celebrated it, and we figured out it is working. It's helping on traffic. And the next thing that happened, we adjusted Dream Data's product as well to be able to measure organic social. Before in time, it only used to be organic or paid, and LinkedIn could fall into both pieces. So we have figured out that we need to measure organic social as well. So that became also a source that you can literally see if somebody clicked on that. So you can start to measure that in pipeline as well. In the customer journeys, those are long. That's another metric. Know your customer journey length. Because if a sales manager is coming over to me and saying, Laura, so this seems to be working. We see you everywhere. How do I get my sales team to bring pipeline through social selling? So, okay, so what do you expect? So yeah, so they bring in deals and they close the deals and so on. How long is your customer journey? It's like half a year. Okay, so do you know when they're going to start bringing in deals? In around a year. Double the length of your customer journey. Because first, a lot of shit posting. Second, when people start seeing they don't buy. And even the organic social leads, they take even longer to close, even longer than outbound sometimes. So if you want that compound effect to support your marketing and to start closing deals, expect it to take a long time. Do you have that time to wait? Fine. This is going to be a strategy for you. If you don't, go do other stuff. Maybe that will work out just as good. Or maybe you will be back in a year's time and would say, oh, but wait, we still want to do this, even though it takes a long time. We didn't start and so on. So the metrics, care about vanity metrics. It is important to start with. Know your length of the customer journey from first touch to new business, so you can plan when you can expect results from social selling, and do measure which channels and sources are bringing in pipeline for you, and that when it is closing, which of those were part of the customer journey.
I'll take a detour from not exactly a detour, but it connects to social selling. But one of the things that I see social selling promotes so much is dark social, right? So that is a fact, and that is actually good, right? A lot of people think dark social is not good because you cannot measure that, but it's something that it's going to improve your business if you help promote that. Because if all the people in your buyers committee is speaking about your solution, even if you don't know, that's positive, right? So if you are able to touch all those people with different twists on content, that is going to actually promote your product. But when we speak about attribution, it's hard to measure that, right? Is there somehow for you guys to see this effect that social selling has through attribution with Dream Data? Is there a way for you guys to backtrack? For example, so many people are seeing our content in organic social, and people that maybe we haven't seen and we haven't spoken before, but they are in the same company, they are coming as well, right? So there's like something invisible happening, and probably that's dark social, right?
Yeah. So dark social is also, well, now we're tracking back to Chris Walker again. It's something that he speaks a lot about. It's all right. And like, you can call it whatever name it is. People used to buy when they ask other people, so what do you use and which server did you choose back in the 90s? Oh, it was IBM. Okay, I'll go talk to IBM. This is dark social too, because somebody met somebody at a conference and they spoke about it and they went and chose IBM because they've heard about it, not because they saw that huge banner somewhere at the airport or something like that. The same happens now, is just on a bigger scale. And in a way, kind of, you can measure it, but you can also sense it. So people think that when we say, oh, how big is Dream Data? So, oh, we're 40 people. So no way you're 40 people. It seems like it's like a, I don't know, 500 people company. It's because it seems big. And what we talk about is quality stuff that our buyers care about. both from a social perspective, but also from a very data-driven, very specific, clever stuff that they care about and they follow. And that creates the effect that when I want to know something about attribution and measurement, maybe I'm not ready to buy Dream Data, but I know that their CMO has been speaking so much about, I don't know, the changes in the Google algorithm, or how do I do smart bidding on Google, whatever it is. Then there are the thought leaders that I could go and speak with. Or if a friend of mine needs advice, then go speak to those guys or follow them because they speak about this. So you can't measure this because you could never do that, but you can feel that because everybody, whoever comes into your sales call and say, oh, I've heard it from, I don't know, Andreas, and Andreas have heard it from another of your client who is in Germany. Cool, but Andreas is in the US. and that thing happens no matter of like you measure it or not. But the more places you are at where your buyers are and grasp the information without feeling that this is an ad and I'm targeted with it, the easier it will be for you to figure out if it's actually working. You'll hear that from your clients.
Yeah. And my point then is, I don't think that attribution and dark social do not match. I think attribution is going to help you track exactly that invisible effect, because like you said, you're going to see, you're going to listen in sales calls for sure, but you're going to see more people into your attribution program because, well, hey, I don't know if I impacted all those people, but they have impacted somehow. So I think it actually helps you backtrack that.
It's a good point, and it takes us back to what our data scientist always says, that this dark social stuff, you have to think about two things: correlation and causation. So did this client get closed because of all the touches that we can see? Or is there a correlation of all the clients who we have closed this month, and we started that much of our initiatives half a year ago on social selling? Did that correlate with the closing clients? Did we get more? Probably, but there is so much uncertainty going on that you cannot really say that this was caused by LinkedIn because we're so good at this. You can't.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, yeah, it's a really interesting topic. You do have some like intent data, as you said, like you can see, but for instance, like the roles that you're reaching, like the regions, the size of companies, and dark social it's something that always existed, as you mentioned. So, but right now we can stimulate it because it's a way bigger scale, and I think it makes a lot more sense when you're talking about more complex sales. Because what's dark social? Usually it's you trying to go to someone in order to get the authority, because you're a bit afraid of that movement. If it's something that the cost is quite low, you don't need someone, oh, should I buy I don't know, like that kind of food, should I buy? No, you can buy, you can try, and then, well, I don't like it, I don't need it. But when you have like a big decision, you need community and people that you know that you can trust. And before used to be people that you actually meet, you actually know, like, but now with the digital, you can reach people from other side of the world and ask, look, I'm thinking about bring data. Is that good? You think it works for me? So as a strategy, it's interesting to stimulate this dark social, even knowing that you're going to have some limitations in order to track everything, right? So we do have a lot of intent data. I think also this is the shift between lead gen and demand gen, because there's a lot of that you're not going to be able to track. You need to trust. And as you said, it's really important to know your ICP, because then you can stimulate, because you know that at least you're talking to someone that knows your product and you know that they care about what you're saying. So, well, just like to summarize, talking about technology in order to accelerate and make this whole thing even better. Are you guys using some AI? What are you doing right now to make your social selling even more accurate?
No.
Nothing.
No, but the thing is that AI is good for generating ideas, helping you out understand complex stuff so far. And whenever I try to generate some ideas for LinkedIn through ChatGPT, I'm still really bad at prompting. So bad at prompting that it takes me longer time to prompt ChatGPT, oh, redo this, oh, talk like me, oh, give me 3 more results. And like, it takes me longer time than I actually would be creating the post. Unless I would get a very deep and thorough description of how you calculate cost of acquisition from our data scientists. Oh, this is very clever, but I understand zero. Then you put it into ChatGPT and ask them, please, like, explain it to me, because I'm a brain of 5-year-old. And then you can create a LinkedIn post out of that and spin on your creativity on top of it. But I'm not there, or the technology is not there yet. So I've tried some of the AI stuff that they're pushing on LinkedIn so far, like generated messages you can generate, then you can redo your profile. It's shit, really bad. But we're just seeing the beginning of it. So I'm definitely not saying that it's going to be bad all the time. I think it will support us with a lot of things. But people who will be only embracing most of the AI stuff will not be able to stand out in the crowd of LinkedIn wave right now. So I have been talking about this for almost half a year now, that if companies did not jump on a LinkedIn ship for social selling yet, very soon it's going to be too late, because it's getting so crowded. The AI generated information is being overflooded to LinkedIn. They're trying to limit it and read if it was AI written and so on. It will be more and more difficult to stand out, which means that you have to either be really good at creating your own creative stuff, or do it as fast as possible now, so you can collect your followers and be able to go with them and grow on top of them as well for the future.
We have a saying in Brazil, when you were speaking about, in some time AI is going to make really hard to get through the crowd, right, through the noise. And I remember one saying that we have in Brazil, not sure if there's something similar. The one that gets to the water faster drinks the clean water, right? So I think
early bird gets the worm. That's what you say.
Exactly. That's better. That's easier. So one thing that comes to mind is sometimes when you look backwards and you understand what changed in the last few months or year, you can predict something maybe that is, of course, not certainty, but you can look in front of you and think about something that might happen. So is there a shift on people's behavior on LinkedIn, or maybe the algorithm, like from 1 year to now, that you say that kind of changed how you guys do social selling? Have you noticed some shift or some changes in behaviors in the last year?
I think people became more social. So when we started, there were not that many comments and engagement and like friendships making on LinkedIn. And a year ago, we could see that people started to engage much more, and a lot of stuff is happening in comments comparing to before in time. Just people used to just speak from the top of the barrel, but now people are supporting each other, helping them out to answer some of the questions and so on. I have seen a shift on that one, but it could be it's also because my own behavior on LinkedIn changed as well. So I do engage in conversations, not only post, because that changed due to me having the confidence of feeling that, oh, so I can actually speak a little bit about attribution as well, even in public, because I know everybody's watching. Maybe a year ago, I didn't feel as comfortable to challenge Chris Walker or something like that. Now I don't care. But I see that shift. But I think every person who starts to post and engage and comment will start seeing that shift in a longer run as well.
For me, LinkedIn right now, it's a learning platform. I learn a lot, and I think more and more people are starting to realize that. So that's really important for you that produce content to understand that people are there to learn. So right now, after this ChatGPT hype, it's quite easy to identify when a post it's like a ChatGPT, because it's like this massive text blocks, and then it's like it doesn't have quite context into the. So that's the challenge, I would say, like to create content in order to make it social, to help to make people interact and co-build something together, right? And that's how we are here talking right now. That's how I met Gabriel. That's how we met Dream Data eventually, because it's well correlated to our job and our profession. So yeah, no, that's really, really amazing.
There's one thing that I say very often in most of the podcasts is that on LinkedIn, nobody cares about two things. They don't care about you, and they don't care about your company. And all that engagement is not about you or about your company. And that understanding, like deep understanding of those two things, would help you to create better quality content, to care less about how you're posting to begin with, because people don't care about you. And to go away from saying, oh, we at Dream Data, we help companies with this and that and so on. It's like, don't care. I care about how you can help me, the problems that I'm seeing, how do you approach them, or at least learn how did you approach another problem.
Yeah,
That's incredible. That what you just said is going to be the opening of the podcast. Nobody cares about you or your company or your product. So
this is
Laura,
almost a life lesson. Do you know what I mean? Like this is a life lesson, not only for LinkedIn, it's like for your life journey.
Yeah. When I worked at Whirlpool, I was an intern there, and one of the things that the one thing that touched me was one guy saying nobody cares about refrigerators. They just want to eat.
Fresh food.
Yeah, exactly. So Laura, is there anything that you want to maybe speak to our audience that care about how they are going to know how effective their job in marketing is, related to how Dream Data can help them achieve that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, we speak a lot about from our own experience, how do we get marketing closer to sales? Because this is a dream of every marketer and every salesperson, so that there is no gap. Meaning that marketers, they do care about the revenue. They do care about the deals that they're bringing in, that they're actually closed. And the salespeople usually care about the same. How can I get more leads of a quality that closes? What can we scale so I can get the same leads that I had last month? And I would know which channel do they come from and so on. So what Dream Data does is we literally get those departments together, both through the reporting, but also through the common meetings. So what we care about is the tracking of the full customer journey, figuring out who comes into your website, which companies they're from. Okay, we're seeing intent. Maybe sales could help out in a little bit intent, touching, calling, and figuring out who could be the people there. Okay, as soon as the intent is captured and people have filled out forms, we know who they are. And how do we engage them? Did they ask for a demo? Did they ask for a free trial? How do we engage that piece? What kind of content is important? So marketers start to measure every touch of the customer journey. What is happening? What is it that they're reading? Which channels do they come from? So we can be the best of ourselves in every step of the way that the prospects are meeting us. So that the content that we write for the SQLs that are about to convert to new business, they care about more technical stuff, they care about our security and so on. Let's make sure that this part is answered. The same goes for the earlier pipeline. Let's make sure that we meet them with the content that is actually interesting for them to understand that Dream Data can help them with the problems that they are trying to solve. So Dream Data basically maps out the full customer journey and puts it into perspective for you to understand which channels are working top of funnel, which channels are working in the middle of the funnel, what content to write more of, which ads to cut because they're not working at all, and where should sales engage, and what is the sweet spot for marketing to pitch in with the various tactics.
Well,
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And as a marketer, I'm quite excited to see that kind of mindset spreading more and more into marketing and sales departments, because right now it's changing slowly, gradually, especially here in Brazil, I would say. But well, thank you to companies like Bring Data, this is changing. And well, from my end here, Laura, was a pleasure to have you here. It was really, really, really nice to have you here. It was definitely, I'm starting to do some things regards to social selling here with myself based on our conversation. And yeah, well, thank you so much for being here with us.
Yeah, and Laura, can you just tell us how people can find you, how people can find Dream Data? We're going to, for sure, to include the links here in the description of the episode, but if you can tell to folks how to find you guys.
Yeah, we're big on LinkedIn. That's what we spoke about. So
Nice.
If I said catch us on Twitter, that would be a lie. You can catch our CMO on Twitter, but you can't catch me there. But yeah, we're on LinkedIn. Connect with me. Follow Dream Data, and if you see any content that is of your interest, I'm happy to have a chat about that. And that salesperson does not pushes you to buy. If you're interested in talking about this stuff, we can definitely start a conversation either on LinkedIn or on a call as well. It was a pleasure being here, guys. Thank you so much for inviting.
Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you.